all right, all right. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hello. Can you hear me? Can you see me? I know you can see me now. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday. Cheers. Cheers. Cheers to all the good people out there. We're going to get started here in just a few moments. Can everybody else see me? Some people can't see me. We got to figure out whose end that's on. Is it on my end or your end? Can you see me? Can you hear me? We can see you. Hey, Brittany. Hey, Brittany. Hey, Melba. Hey, everybody. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the lab. We're going to get started in just a minute. Waiting on a couple of people who are having a hard time getting in to get in. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Got 93 beautiful souls with us here in the Zoom room. We've also got some folks watching via Facebook. We're in the silver group and in other groups as well. This is a class on self-motivation. We're going to talk a little self-motivation. Looks like everybody's got me. I can hear myself now, so we're good. Check, check, check. All right. I'm going to start this recording. We're gonna have a good time in this class. For those of you that are new to Shibboleth, potentially new to me, my name is Travis Martin. Hey, Sandy. Good to have everybody. My name is Travis Martin. I've lost over 100 pounds on this spectacular program. The Lord has really used it in my life, has blessed me beyond my worth, and really appreciate what God continues to do in my life with this program. I would say that those that have their priorities right, which would not be me, by the way. I'll explain that in a minute. My priorities probably are not and we're not right in doing this program. But if your priorities are right, better than losing 100 pounds, this old boy right here come off high blood pressure medication. How about a round of applause for me? How about that? I don't ever do that. Sometimes I do. I need a round. All right. Bless the name of the Lord. So nobody believes me when I say it, but I went on my first blood pressure medicine at 15 years of age. Sure did. And within a few weeks of doing this program, doctor was able to take me after 15 years of blood pressure medication. The good Lord was able to take me off of it. After 15 years of being on it, just in a short period of time, able to come off of it. Acid reflux. I was on acid reflux medication. Made me miserable. Everywhere I went, I had to take a cut with me. People thought I chewed tobacco for a long time because I had a cut with me everywhere I went. Because my food, I know that's not the way to get this started. Maybe this will be appetite control for your lunch, but my food would come up morning to night, just constantly my food coming up, bad acid reflux problem, and was on medication for that. Come off acid reflux medication, lickety split. Blessed be the name of the Lord. No, I'm not ashamed of him. High cholesterol. That's a bad one, right? I was on high cholesterol medication for many, many years, about a decade. Come off of that. Sure did. Doctor put me about 4 or 5 years into my marriage, being overweight, high blood pressure, acid reflux, and also type 2 diabetes for a little while. Had to take a tablet for that. I headed toward type 1 if I didn't do something. Also gave me some depression medication. I didn't take that long, but he certainly prescribed it to me. Those are the more important things. If you got your priorities right and your own medications, let's get you off of those medications. I'm not guaranteeing that or promising that. There's enough cloud of witness here, probably with 108 beautiful souls here. There's probably enough cloud of witness to tell you all without me telling you that you can reverse a lot of these diseases. You can't reverse type 1 diabetes, but you can certainly manage it much better with this program. But you know, that wasn't the most important thing to me. I did not have my priorities straight. I probably still don't have my priorities straight. Deep down, I'll tell you what my number one goal was. Well, I had several after visiting the doctor. I wanted to be around for my daughters. All those things that he used against me, you know, those were motivating factors too. Had to be in a level of pain and disgust before you take massive action to fix things. And certainly I was. But deep down in my heart, I just wanted to look good naked. N-E-K-K-E-D. I just wanted to look good naked. Hey, anybody else here want to look good naked? You know, by the way, if you want to look good naked and you pursue that, everything else falls in place anyway, because you got to get off those medications. Raise your hand if you want to look good as you can, I can't help that I look like Billy Bob Thornton from the neck up, or used to when I had hair, but I can help how I look from the neck down. Y'all get it? Raise. If you lie about that, you're a heathen. You'll lie about anything. You will lie about anything. If you tell me that you don't want to look good, N-E-K-K-E-D, then there's something wrong with you. You're just a lying. All right. So that's what I mean when I say I didn't have my priorities straight. But let me tell you a little bit about me. Now, some of you are going to want to talk food today. This class is about being self-motivated. Okay. How many of you know that's part of your problem? It was part of my problem, being a self-motivated individual. And that's what we're going to talk about through this hour. And then at noon, we have meal planning. We've got a meal planning lesson at noon, meal planning lesson for fat loss at noon. All you got to do to sign up for that and our other classes this week is go to www.travismartin.tv. No, I don't have a TV channel, but TravisMartin.com was gone and it cost too much to get it. So it's TravisMartin.tv. So you can go to www.travismartin.tv and sign up for the meal planning class at noon and other classes this week. But this is about motivation, self-motivation. I was not a very self-motivated individual when it comes to my weight. Now, I hope you've got paper and you got a pen. I'm old school. I like the whiteboard. Every once in a while, I pull out the PowerPoint. I sure will. But I got a great team that's got great PowerPoints. As far as me, I'm old school. I like my whiteboard, and I like you to have pen and paper and let me teach you from my heart, okay? So get that pen and paper, because I want you to write down some things. See if I can get you to write this down. You're just not looking at a PowerPoint. I get you to write it down. You'll remember it. It'll sink in a little better. But we're going to talk about the things that you can do. There are things you can do to become a very self-motivated person. How many of you, I'm just curious with some amens or some hands up in there, how many of you've tried to lose weight in the past and you get going and something happens during the day, during the week, during the month, whatever, something happens in a relationship, something happens in the job, you were going good, swearing you would never need another program, whatever program you were doing. This is it. I got it. And then you relapse, and then you just can't get back self-motivated. Anybody that happened? Cheers, everybody. Welcome, those of you just coming in. Cheers. Yep. Hey, we're all in the same boat. All in the same boat. First off, I hope you'll write this down. The first thing it's going to take, excuse me, the first thing it's going to take is, some of y'all know I'm going here, but I'll get to other stuff in a minute. You've got to have a profound why, a reason. Okay, now we'll get beyond that. I talk about it every class. Y'all know it, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, is this going to be another class about our why? No, just a few minutes. But you've got to have a why. The great General Hannibal of Carthage said that the how-to doesn't matter so much. once you have discovered your why. In other words, if you got a big enough why, you'll figure it out. You have got to have a why. Now, I have my why on my vision board, on my vision tracker. Is anyone else here using a vision board or vision tracker? Anybody? Amy Robertson, good job. Sandra Farmer, good job. Now, now in the website, there's a great one. Let me pull that up for a minute. Let me digress for a minute. I should have had this pulled up already. I didn't think I'd show it today. Let me just show you something. Okay. So here I've got in the website, now you can do this on poster board. You can do this by writing it down. I have found that this is the most effective way for me. I am in the My Shibboleth journal, and you can go into the journal and you can go down here and you can click vision and goals. Now here I set a goal as a demonstration to some people a couple of months ago when we started the Tiger's Eye. And I put myself a deadline in there. I've got the title of my goal, in other words, my why, and I've written out what my goals are, how much weight I'm going to lose, what my deadline is. And then I've got some motivating music here. I have the Tiger, I Need a Miracle, the road I'm on. I've got my motivating music. And then, not to gross you out, but I got my fat pictures, right? I've got pictures. This was after I'd lost 60, 70 pounds. So this is some fat pictures. It ain't the fattest ones, but I got some pictures that make me feel bad about, give me a level of pain. And then I've got pictures of the body types that I'd like to have that I'm working towards. I've got those in here. I've got these here. You can see part of my progress. You can see I'm leaning out. I'm getting there. Got me some Abby Dabbies going. And then Sasha's part of my why, my reason, my kids. So what I do, I've got this linked on my phone, and all I got to do is play it. See the play button? And when I play my vision tracker before I eat, just over a minute or two, flashes up my painful pictures and my pleasurable pictures. My painful pictures, where I'm at in my journey, where I'm headed, where I'm going. And you can not be motivated after watching that when you get up in the morning, before you eat, especially before you eat the wrong thing. You cannot not get motivated. It plays and it's like a slide. These slides go by, painful, pleasurable slides on your phone or your iPad or whatever you're looking at. They go by with some really motivating music. So I've got my why, I've got my reason, and I've also got them in pictures. This is part of my why. I don't ever want to go back here. This is part of my why. It would mean a lot to me to be that fit and to have that type of physique. Here's where I was a few years ago. Now look, the hard work is paying off, and I can see it, man. And I remember how bad I felt up here when I see these pictures. And now how much better I feel down here. The countenance on my face is different. So you've got to come up with a very strong reason to do this. And then you have to have constant reminders. Here's what I want you to write down. You must renew your mind daily. The Bible tells us that. You must die daily. You must die to the love and the practice of the McDonald's Chicken McNuggets. You must die out to the love and the practice of, the Bible says, sin. But we got to die out to the love and the practice of the deep dish pizza. When is eating deep dish pizza? When does that become a sin? I know there ain't no preacher man preaching to us about that. When does that become a sin? When that's before you and God and the abundant life that God wants you to have. The way I read my Bible, we're supposed to have an abundant life, not an abundant waistline. Amen? Can I get any kind of amen here going? Any at all? So, all right. So you need to renew your mind daily. You need to renew it constantly because you're at war, my friend. If you have needed to lose weight and you have not lost weight, it's because you are at war and you fail to realize that this is going to be a constant warfare until the day God calls your butt home. It is the spirit against the flesh. Your flesh is winning that war because that is what you feed. If you want your spirit to win the war against the flesh and to put the flesh under submission of the spirit, then you must feed your spirit, and the spirit does not get hungry for Tombstone pizza. Can I get another amen? So you need to write that down. It's going to have to become part of your daily method of operation, your DMO, your daily DMO. It's got to become part of it, that I will renew my mind daily and often throughout the day, even before I eat, even when I think I got this thing. When your flesh begins to say, I got this, your spirit needs to say, shut up. No, you don't. If you'd had it, you would have fixed this a long time ago. Let me look at my why. Let me look at my reasons for doing this. There's always going to be something trying to get in your way. There's always going to be a stumbling block. Can anybody think of a stumbling block right now? You got any? Tell me what the stumbling block may be. We got a lot to cover, so help me out here. What's your stumbling block? I'm asking a rhetorical question. Tish says stress. Tish says stress. And I know Tish will appreciate it. You know what the Bible says about stress? Cast all of your care upon me, for I careth for you. In other words, let Jesus carry the burden. My good dad, my father taught me this, my good old daddy, he taught me this. If something is beyond your control, you can't do anything about it. Well, cast your care upon the Lord and let it go. There's nothing you can do about that. You can't do anything about that. We're not concerned about that. You're tough. You'll get through it. You'll get through it with God's help. God will be there for you. Put that behind you. You can't do anything about that. So if something's stressing you beyond your control, who are you, God? You're not God. Some of us are worried about a coronavirus. You're not God. What are you worried about? You're not God. Don't have a God complex. When something is beyond our control and it stresses us and the stress causes us to eat or use alcohol or drugs or whatever it is, we're to be worried about something that are you worried about whether it rains or not tomorrow? Probably not. You don't have any control over it. It's not a great stress. You cast your care upon the Lord and you let it go. But I think here's the problem and the stress that many talk about. And it bugs me like it bugged my father when I was this way so many years ago. I stressed out over things that were within my control. Why would I stress out about being 300 pounds when I held the keys to the cure? So obviously I wanted to be 300 pounds more than I wanted to be 200 pounds. There's no one here, not one single soul, not one single reasonable person here can convince me or tell me that you being overweight is anyone else's fault or that it's not in your control to fix it. So what does it say about our character? What does it say? It's not who I believe you are. It's not who I believe I was, but this is how I acted. What does it say about your character to stress out over something you could fix? That's like saying this, everybody. That's like saying this. That's like saying this. That's like saying, sitting on the couch. I'm sitting on the couch watching a television program, but I'm stressed out that the trash is full and hasn't been taken out. Stay with me. Stay with me. Praise God, y'all stay with me. That's like me. That's like me sitting on the couch watching the TV program, but I feel a burden and stress because the trash is overflowing. Now, I'm asking you genuinely, how do I fix that problem and get that stress off of me? Because it's within my control to fix. What do I do? What would I do to get that stress off of me? Carry the freaking trash out. You get up off your butt, you go get the trash, and you take the trash out. How many of you in the last week have gotten stressed out, went to the pantry or the fridge, and there's Oreos in there, and you're trying to white knuckle not eating them, or some chips in there, you're trying to white knuckle not eating them, and that's stressing you out, and you leave them in there, and you go to the pantry 2 or 3 times, and you go back to them until you finally take a bite. Has it happened to anybody? Take the trash out. Get that stuff out of the house. If you're overweight, you can fix it. You can live a better life. You're going to have a why. You're going to have to renew your mind daily. The flesh is going to give you fits. Feed your spirit with your why, your reason for doing it, and carry the trash out. All you got to do is get up and do the work. That's the great thing about being overweight. You can fix it. You can have a willing and wanting heart and do the work, and it's done. It's done. All you got to do is follow the tools that we give you, the components that we give you, and it's all over. It's all over. A little passage of time, it's all over. So stress, I understand that stress thing. I got stress. I got a lot of stress. But if I focus on that stress, I'm not going to be productive in other areas of my life that make my life better later. You're not going to live a stress-free life. In fact, there's statistics out there that the less stress one has, the quicker they die. All you hear is the more stress, the quicker you die. There's certainly a fine line, but without some stress, without some pressure, human beings don't grow. Okay? So let's stress. You can do something about it, do something about it. Or, like my sweet father told me many years ago, shut up whining and complaining about it if you're not going to do anything about it. Can I get an amen? Let's do something about it. We got the power. I'm not trying to be mean to you. I'm actually telling you the truth. I believe in you. You've got the power. You know that song, You Got the Power. Somebody needs to put that on their little smartphone today. You got the power. Power. I know. Keep my day job. All right. You got the power. You do. You like Bruce Almighty. You got the power. Power. You got it. You can do it. You just got to decide. The next thing that you've got to do, write this one down. This is a big one. If you've got more than a pound to lose, it's going to take some time. But that stresses many out. You remember when you were a little kid and everything looked bigger than it is? You know, there's things now as you're an adult and you realize it wasn't that big. It wasn't that big a deal. But when you were as a kid, it just looked like a big deal. It was a big, big deal. But you get older and you realize it wasn't such a big thing. It wasn't such a big deal. When you've got 100 pounds to lose, and I give you the plan, and I ask people all the time, can you do this for one day? This plan that I give you, at noon, the plan that I give you, could you do it one day, just one day? And everybody goes, I can do it one day. I can do anything one day. Just one day. You can have what we call here a perfect day. You can have one perfect day. I can do it. I can do one perfect day. I say, then you got it whipped. You got it whipped. But what happens is people who have a lot of weight to lose, they do it a day, but they're so focused on a month from now, stressing out over, can I be perfect for a month? Can I be perfect for 3 months? Can I have perfect days for 6 months? No, you can't. Some have, but it's not likely. You're a human being. You don't do the program. You're not a human doing, you're a human being. And human beings slip up. But there's grace built in the program. Now, there's a difference. Let me digress. There's a difference between slipping up and, if you have a month where you had 20 holidays, then you're not trying very hard, right? You're not trying. You get 6 holidays to eat what you want each month. It's a lifestyle. You can have those. You'll have some planned ones. You'll have some accidental ones. When you get into maintenance, you can have 12 holidays. But what happens is you're looking so far out, you're living on borrowed time. You're living on borrowed time. Let me digress again. You're living on borrowed time. I don't know when God's children began to act and think like this life is mine. It's mine. And I got at least 78 years, according to the mortality tables, to be here. No, you don't. No, you don't. God may shorten your days, or he may prolong them. You're living on borrowed time. The time you have with your spouse, the time you have with your kids, the time you have to fulfill your destiny. You're living on borrowed time. It's not yours. It's been granted to you by the everlasting Father. It's a gift to you and I, and you're not promised tomorrow. You have today. Hope you'll write that down. I have today. I don't have to do my best tomorrow. If there's a tomorrow, God's grace will be sufficient. I don't have to be perfect all this week, all next month. I have to do my best today. One day. And I trust, how many of you have had a perfect day? You've had the perfect day according to our plan. You feel lighter, you feel leaner, you feel more energy, you feel good. And you go to bed and you're proud of yourself. How many of you have had that experience? So first off, there's no reason not to do it. It's not hard. It's fun. It's easy. You feel better. Now, let's say that you're laying there and your internal or external alarm clock goes off and you wake up. Oh, it's a new day. It's a new day. Thank you, Lord. Today is the day of salvation. And I will attack it with fear and trembling like I'm on borrowed time. I will do my best today and have another perfect day so that it feels and I feel as good as yesterday felt. One day at a time. I don't have to do my best tomorrow. You're putting too much pressure on yourself. Why would you worry about tomorrow? I know we have to do due diligence. We have to plan ahead. We have to save. We have to do those things. I do understand that. But when it comes forth, leaving it on the battlefield today, it's funny. Every time I go work out, let me take that back. That would be a lie. I'd say 70% of the time when I work out, I give it all I got. I've got nothing left. Many times I hold back. Shame of that. Let's not talk about that. But most times I have given it all I got, and I think I don't have any more left in me. I don't have one more sparring round. I don't have one more rep that I could do. I'm going to vomit or pass out. I just give it all I got, 60-70% of the time. Give it all I got. I couldn't do another rep. I don't know if I'll ever exercise again. Guess what happens the next day? I'm renewed. I'm restored. It's a new day, and I feel like doing more. Don't worry about tomorrow. Embrace today. Please embrace today. Everybody write down, today is the day for a perfect day. We'll worry about tomorrow if and when it comes. All right, everybody with me there? So we've got our why. We're going to let go of stress. We're going to look and visit our why and our vision tracker, or however your vision tracker looks, or however you do before each meal. I'm going to override and overrun my flesh. My flesh will not have its way. My spirit will have its way. The spirit is willing, the flesh is weak. Let's don't feed the flesh. Let's feed the spirit. The next thing, to stay motivated. You'll think, really? Is this what I come to this class for? I need you to get moving. I need you to get moving, even on the days that you don't feel like it. We're having perfect days. We're in a calorie deficit. We're controlling insulin. That's the way to fat loss. I need you to get moving. I need you, we'll talk about other exercises in other classes. Those of you that's not getting in, example, 10,000 or more steps a day, you got to get moving. You can lose weight with just the nutrition, but when you get moving, you get that endorphin release and you're more motivated. How many of you got your steps in last week and it motivated you after you got them in? Anybody? Walking has cognitive benefits, helps ward off Alzheimer's, helps you drop fat like nothing else. This is how I stay self-motivated. A lot of people don't believe this, but I want to work out, right? Here's what I like doing. I like doing what's called the workout of the day or jiu-jitsu. I'd rather do that than walk. But my number one priority when I don't have enough time in the day is to get my walk in. Let me explain why. Number one, all those benefits I talked about, but number two, walking is going to be something hopefully I can do every day, all the days that God gives me. That's my plan anyway. Things happen, but that's my plan. I can work out with jiu-jitsu or work out of the day, but I can't go hard for an hour to 2 hours throughout the day with those exercises. You can't last that long when you're doing intense things. Therefore, you don't burn as many calories. Walking allows me to burn 800 to 1,000 calories a day if I get all the steps I plan on getting in. I can break them up throughout the day. But walking helps me burn fat. It helps me get that endorphin release. I'm burning the calories. Walking has incredible, incredible benefits. You'll feel so much better if you'll walk. But it also allows me to multitask. It allows me to multitask. What I mean by that is I have to motivate myself. You know how I do it? Audiobooks. Encouraging audiobooks, encouraging podcasts. Y'all could listen to me until you can't stand me no more. I hope that y'all will listen to me until the sound of my voice makes you regurgitate. Then maybe, just maybe, we'll finally have overridden some old bad habits. But you listen to those things that motivate you. You listen to motivating music. See, that should be fun. You listen to motivating movies. I can't tell you how many times I've went for a walk and I can't see it, but I listen to Rocky. I'm a big kid. I can't tell you how many times that I've listened to The Magic of Thinking Big while I walk. I can't tell you how many times I've listened to In the Air Tonight while I walk. It motivates me, and my vision board is playing through my mind all the time. You've got to start loving yourself enough that you put yourself as a priority. That's another thing. One of the reasons many of you are not motivated is that you have put everybody else first. You've put everybody else first. Amy Robertson says, playing them air drums from In the Air Tonight. Amy, it's so funny because sometimes I'll be so lost. And when Sasha and I was walking together, all of a sudden I get to moving around. I might be in front of her, behind her, and she'll catch me, and I'll catch her laughing at me because I'm just lost. I'm focused on my goals. I'm not focused on problems. The problems will still be there when I get done with my time. I call it the 22-hour day. I give my wife, my family, my Shibboleth members, I give them 22 hours of my day. I dream about you. I work for you. I work for my family. I do, but 2 hours a day, right off the top is mine. And if I can get more, I get more. But 2 hours, I don't get a 24-hour day. I get a 22-hour day to give to others, because 2 hours of that is for me. And you should do something for you. And if you can do more than that, you should do more than that. Travis, I have a servant's heart. Yeah, and everybody knows that about you. You've conditioned them. Listen, mothers, all you mamas, you've conditioned your children and you condition your spouse to expect you to cater to them constantly. You can't ever get in all of your tasks that have you stressed out because you're worried about letting them down or not getting to them what they need or not doing. And therefore, you've enabled them to be lazy arse, and you've also enabled them and conditioned them to expect you to do until you've got nothing left. And I don't care how much you love your husband, your wife, your children. If you exhaust your love tank and have nothing left to give, you will grow bitter toward them, and they won't understand it, that you finally need a break, and they'll grow bitter toward you because they're used to getting everything from you. Make them wash their own freaking dishes. Make them wash their own freaking clothes or go to school in dirty clothes if you haven't given yourself 2 hours a day. You say, that's just so hard. Then you'll probably never get this done. Sorry for using the almost wordy dirge there. But I look back at how we treated my sweet mama. No wonder she was always stressed out. We conditioned her to do. She'd hear ice in our glass rattle and get up and pour us another drink. Pour your own dang drink. In fact, I would make the case, if we had more time, you're not loving your family when you enable them to rely on you for everything. You are not God. Until you take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of others? Is it going to do them any good when they're used to you always doing, and you're laid up in the hospital because you were so overweight and had so many underlying disease that you caught a virus? Is that going to do anybody any good? No, it's not. It's not doing anybody any good to enable people. You're not God. Sometimes I think when I talk to people, they think they're God. They think they're God. I used to act like I was a little G-O-D. I couldn't let nobody down. I couldn't let anybody down. And you know what happened over the years? About 2009, I lost everything I had. And let me tell you why I lost it. It's because I give, and I went through an emotional mental crisis, and I didn't have anything left to give. And then they wouldn't give in to me. In fact, they were kicking me while I was down with their hands out. More people than I can count. And you know what it did? It made me bitter. You know what I found out about me? I didn't love them as much as I thought I did. I was doing a lot of that to make myself feel better about who I was. I tell people now that need more than I can give or want to give, I ain't God. I'm sorry. You better just go get on your altar. Bible says if you ask God, you'll receive. If you have not, it's because you ask not. And if you ask and have not, it's because you ask to miss. Come on now. We'll talk food at 12 o'clock. You're going to have to love yourself. And that comes, the Bible teaches us that. People say Jesus gave 2 commandments. I like to call it 3. A lot of people hung up on them 10 commandments. That's great. On them hang all the law. I get it. I understand it. But that's not how I live my life. That's not my creed anymore. My creed is I ain't judging nobody. I don't want to be judged. And it is to love God. How do you love God? Can anybody fill that blank? How do you love God according to the scripture? This has everything to do with nutrition. That's why we don't have a big following. People's want some secret pill or potion, and I don't have it for you. I got it in the Word. In the beginning was the Word. Word was with God. Word was God. Right. Y'all know it. Love God. You can't love God if you don't love one another. And how does the Bible tell us to love one another? Now we're going to get deep. Rosie said it. Love your neighbor as yourself. So I would submit this to you. I love God, Brother Travis. I love you sitting there. I'm not trying to meddle. You're sitting there 300 pounds. If you want to be 300 pounds, I love you. I don't care. I don't care what you look like. I love you. I don't care what you feel like. I love you. I may not want to be around you if you feel too bad, but I love you. So you're 300 pounds. But let's say you're 300 pounds and you want to lose the weight. And you go, I love God and I love my brothers and sisters. No, you don't, because you don't love yourself. I hate to break it to you. No, you don't. If you do, it's just a little bit. A person that does not love themselves does not have the capacity to love a neighbor, does not have the capacity to love God in the way that they could and should. I promise you. This is how you stay motivated. Daily work. You work on yourself harder than anything else. I'll come to a close with my remarks with this about staying self-motivated. And by the way, if you have these perfect days, you'll get motivated. You'll get motivated because you'll see results. A couple of more caveats before I get to the last part. Don't let the scales discourage you. Somebody write that down. What should discourage you is you had more than 6 holidays. That's the only time you should be discouraged. That's the only time. You should not be discouraged if the scales tick up after a perfect day, if your perfect day was truly a perfect day. You should look at what we call your weekly timing chart, and that should be your primary motivator. If you're having perfect days, if you're having 24, 25 perfect days a month, don't get discouraged over the scales. You will have a result each and every month. You may not have results each and every day because of how the body works, how it retains fluid, how it retains glucose, but month over month, you will experience weight loss. To stay motivated, to remain motivated, you have to follow these daily methods of operation. You must work on yourself, the mental part, harder than anything else. The Bible said that Noah was given instructions on how to build the ark. Let's say that that ark was a type of salvation. In order to save your rear end from obesity, you will have to follow the same instruction. Nobody wants to follow these. They want to go get surgery or a special pill or weight loss surgery, whatever. The Bible says that God told Noah to build the ark a certain way. We're telling you how to build your nutritional lifestyle that's practical, sustainable, and easy. You're either a rule breaker or you'll follow the rules. Follow the rules, you'll get the results we're promising. But he told Noah to build the ark, to pitch the ark. Pitch is tar, right? They're tarring, putting tar in the boat so the boat don't sink. He said, I want you to tar it on the inside out. He gave him specific instructions. Put the tar on the inside of the boat first, then on the outside. I think this is part of our problem. We want the meal plan, and we want to see results in the mirror daily. Same old thinking, same old insanity. Where's that gotten you? What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. You got to do the hard work. The vision tracker. The nightstand rules. I call them my nightstand rules because I don't have it accessible. In the bedroom by the nightstand, I've got my list of my goals and my why, and they fire me up. They motivate me. I'm a fired up, motivated individual because I've changed my state of mind. I've changed my mindset. And you need to be the same way. I'm just not that way. I wish somebody that knew me from the past was here, that knew me 20 years ago and beyond. I'm like Eeyore. I was like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. I'm okay. I had to change. You know how I changed it? With this mouth. Start speaking right. Start talking positive. this coronavirus stuff, it's serious. It's bad. It's as bad as anything in my almost 50 years that I've seen. A whole world shut down because of a pandemic. I'm worried too. But I can't let myself stay there, because this is either going to pass or it's not. Right? If it don't pass, ain't nothing I can do about it. Might as well be as happy as I can. If it does pass, I want to be better off at the end of it, not worse off. It's like we're determined to self-inflict these wounds upon ourselves. The coronavirus is not a reason to sit down on yourself. It's a reason to improve yourself. In every adversity, there's opportunity. I'm about to do a challenge. If anybody wants to do a challenge, for me, look, I got to do something to get my mind right, because, hey, I've got things that we're dealing with too, because nobody's coming out of this thing unscathed. So I'm about to do a 4-week transformation for myself, because we're going to be on lockdown 4 more weeks. I'm going to Travis's Fat Farm. Travis's personal fat farm, PHAT, pretty hot and tempting. In 4 weeks, I'm going to be pretty hot and tempting, boy. I'm going to feel good about myself in 4 weeks. I'm going to lock it down and rip off the knob. I ain't got nowhere to go. Get them chicken breasts and get that asparagus and throw it on the grill every night, baby. I'm going to pretty hot and tempting Travis's Fat Farm. That's where I'm going. If y'all want to do it, I'll send it to you. We'll do it together. We'll get ready. We'll get ready. You can do it. You've just got to take this adversity and turn it into opportunity. Let me read this to you. I'd be amiss if I didn't. Philippians 4:8 says, finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there's any excellence, if there's anything worthy of praise, think about these things. As a man or woman thinketh in the heart, so it is, and so they will be. What about that? How many of you thinking about tough stuff today, and you realize all I need to do is do what the Bible said there? I'm going to think on whatever's true. What does this mean? Whatever's true. Whatever's true in my life. Well, I'm a child of God. What's true in my life? I can live in the first heaven here, and then I'm headed to the third heaven one day to be with God forevermore. Whatever's honorable. Boy, this marriage that I have is honorable. I honor her in every way, and she honors me. Whatever's just, whatever's pure. What do you mean, whatever's just? Man, I'm undeserving of God's grace. God considers it just to bless me even when I don't deserve it. Whatever's lovely, whatever's commendable, whatever's excellent, what's worthy of praise. Think about these things. Shake yourself, Samson, and the Philistines and the deep dish pizza will have to fall off of you. Proverbs 17:22. A joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. Philippians 4:6. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your request be made known to God. See, we've got it. They be more for us than against us. So encourage yourself in the Lord. If you're ready to lose some weight, come to the noon class. We're going to do some meal planning, talk about combinations in meal planning. Follow the program. Put yourself on quarantine for a while. Quarantine from a cheeseburger. And watch what happens over 1 month's time. What verse was that? That's Philippians 4:8, Proverbs 17:22, and Philippians 4:6. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your request be made known to God. And I'll leave you with this. I lied to you. I'll leave you with one more thing. This is what I believe. Please don't get mad at me if you don't believe this. Pray for me. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't believe God needs our prayers. No, I believe He has said for us to pray without ceasing. Not that He doesn't already know what we have need of, but so that we can maintain the right state of mind and faith. Because when I quit praying, I quit moving. As long as I pray, my state of mind is right, and I can trust God with the things that I've prayed about. I can trust God whether I pray or not. God is God. Man tries to make God look like man when we ought to be trying to look more like God. He knows everything that I have need of. I can't go wrong. I can't go wrong. All roads lead home. For me, maybe you don't believe that. I can't convince you otherwise. All roads lead home. No matter how rocky, rough I make it on myself, all roads lead home for this old boy. But by praying, by drawing nigh to God, I have such a more joyful heart and more belief in everything that I do, and you will too. Any questions or comments? Hey, Mary, thank you so much. Good to connect with everybody. Questions or comments before we go set up our other class? You can go to www.travismartin.tv to sign up for our classes this week. Elsie says, Jesus, Jesus. There's just something about that name. Amen. There's no other name in heaven, below heaven, right side of heaven, left side of heaven, whereby we can be saved. Thanks, everybody. We love you so much. Appreciate you. God bless. See some of you at noon. Talk to you later.